say the focus right now is mainly on improving our own situation to really finish off the season with some good qualifyings and especially some good race performances.
Excellent. I think I just spotted the best view of Monaco, and it's from the top of that diving board. Will you jump off there if you win?
I will.
Yes.
It'll be a good, good omen, let's say, if that happens.
As always, it's a very, very, very busy grid here in Monaco. Lots of people who have got a ticket from a friend of a friend of a friend who knew someone who was a team principal of one of the teams.
Obviously, in our previous guys, I was with the team for 2 or 3 years, so I know everybody. So it feels like, it's my home, so to speak, and now to be, wearing the colours of Neil McLaren is special.
I don't want to throw a spanner into the positivity that's going around between you at the moment, but it's very rare now that a pole sitter wins in Formula E. I apologise for throwing that in the mix, but can you do it in Monaco?
Yeah, why not? Thanks for throwing that in there. Carry that with you for the rest of the race now, if I mind. The best place to start a motor race, so we'll do absolutely everything we can. I think you'll see a sort of similar race to what we saw in Berlin for the first 10 to 15 laps, and then settle down after that. So good luck to you.
Hello everyone, welcome along to the Monaco E-Prix watch along. My name's Aaron, thanks for joining me today. We've got quite a grid set for today. We've just got Sasha Fenestraz being interviewed by Vernon Kay. Well, interesting that I mentioned Sasha now because he actually set the fastest lap time in the final duel against Jake Hughes, but he had a power spike, so he went over the 350 kilowatt limit and has been stripped of that pole position. He starts second on the grid. Jake Hughes, who actually cut the Nouvelle chicane when making a mistake, has now inherited pole position even though he cut the corner. I've seen some comments about maybe track limits should have been enforced, but then you'd have had a silly situation where neither driver in the final has a lap time. And Jake Hughes didn't do it on purpose, so he backed off on the lap. So he completed the lap, so he might as well, he self-penalised in that sense. He'd given up the lap. So I think that's all fair. So Jake Hughes is on pole position for the second time this season. It's going to be an interesting race to see if he can turn that pole position into victory. As we see some replays of the very first Formula E race with cars flying everywhere. Of course, he was on pole in Diriyah, and they didn't even convert into a podium, if I remember correctly. But it would be great to see McLaren and Jake Hughes get their first wins in Formula E today. McLaren have such a history around Monaco. Their previous winners include Ayrton Senna, Alain Prost, Fernando Alonso, Kimi Raikkonen and Lewis Hamilton. So Jake Hughes would put himself in some very esteemed company as a winner on the streets of Monaco with McLaren. But Fenestras isn't going to make that easy. He's been quick all weekend, as have Maserati. Max Gunther's in third, Nominato's in fourth for Nissan. Maserati and Nissan have been very strong today. The usual suspects have been less so. So we'll start at the back. DS Penske, they were disqualified completely from their qualifying group because they didn't have the tyres at the right pressure. So they got all of their lap times deleted, and they start last and second last with the world champion Stoffel van Dorn back there. Sam Bird and Antonio Felix da Costa, they've got a lot of work to do if they want to avoid their title hopes going completely down the pan. They are 16th and 17th, and even in Formula E on the streets of Monte Carlo, that is quite an ask around this circuit. We're just seeing all of the crazy action from years gone by in Formula E. Mitch Evans with the pass up towards Massenet on on what was the DS Techeetah at the time. And Mitch Evans starts in P6. He's the highest placed championship contender in the race. He starts P6, and all the guys ahead of him are below him in the championship. Nick Cassidy, who's second in the standings, starts 9th. Jake Dennis, who is 4th in the standings, starts 11th. Jean-Eric Verne is also there. He's 3rd in the standings, but we've also already touched on the fact that he starts at the back. Pascal Wehrlein, the championship leader by 4 points, is 12th. What else do I need to touch on? Well, will we see more of this peloton-style racing where no one wants to lead the race? It's going to be very, very interesting to see if it pans out that way around Monaco, because there's not really space to give up the lead that much, unless obviously you're taking attack mode. So through that, you're going to cycle back to the front in some form anyway. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the teams play their attack mode cards and where if they do give up position. Maybe on the streets of Monaco you really do just want to get pole position and lead from the front. Got the votes going in the chat for winner of the Monaco E-Prix. Hello to SHT in the chat. Time for some Formula E in Monaco. Indeed it is. Wehrlein and Dennis's form has been off the pace ever since they finished the 2 races at Diriyah earlier this season. Wehrlein has been fairly consistent. Dennis has been feast or famine. He's finished 1st or 2nd in every race that he's finished in the points. So that shows you where his race weekends have been. But it's going to be a very, very interesting race because they've got to come through the pack if they want points. So there's a lot of risk there. And we've got Mark Webber on the screen now, a former 2-time Monaco Grand Prix winner with Red Bull in 2010 and 2012. So let's have a look at the voting so far. So Sasha Fenestras is leading the way in the votes. Don't think it's going to, doesn't let me vote. But for what it's worth, I'm going to put my money on, my metaphorical money, on Jake Hughes to win the race. Verlaine hasn't been on the podium since his last 2 wins, and Diri, yeah. But then he built up such a lead, he didn't necessarily need to. The problem was if what happened in Berlin happened, and it did, of course. So I know that's a silly thing to say, but you get what I'm saying. All of his championship rivals finished ahead of him, and he finished at the back of that. So Cassidy and Dennis took a huge number of points out of him in the second race in Berlin. So he does need to get his act together. And I'm just wondering whether the wheels are wobbling enough now to come off his championship push. Surprisingly, Buemi hasn't got a podium this season so far. Well, he did in Hyderabad, but it was taken away from him. Another power over spike thing that apparently the teams, they can't do anything about it. It's just luck of the draw if you hit a bump or something, which is ridiculous, really, if you ask me. It's just so, it doesn't, like, if the driver's got no control over it, then just ignore it, because they're very momentary, and then everyone just gets on with it. They don't tend to really affect the racing, as far as I'm concerned. Cassidy been on great form in the last 5 races. Yeah, he has been absolutely on fire, but he's got it all to do from P9 today, especially with Mitch Evans in 6th. And who knows the carnage that can ensue on the streets of Monte Carlo. Okay, let's switch scenes. Karen Chandok saying to watch out for Mitch Evans. We'll turn the volume up on the desktop audio, so you can hear the guys on the Channel 4 stream.
He's become a real character. He's matured throughout the season so far. He really has. I know that he's got a car that it's got the 1 lap pace. We know that for qualifying, and that's why he's done exceptionally well. But have they got the efficiency to take that?
SHT's going Fenestras for this race. If you agree with SHT, put your vote in the chat that I can see on my other screen over here, which is why I'm not looking at the camera. What's your prediction for the podium? Okay, so I'm going to go Jake Hughes. And then I'm going to go Fenestras. And Mitch Evans to come through for P3. Dan Ticktum's in 5th. He can be difficult to get past, but the Neo doesn't have the efficiency. Who's in P4? Norman Nato. Yeah, I'm not convinced by Norman Nato, to be honest. He's done a good job today, but he's still been outperformed by his rookie teammates, so I think that shows you the level that he's at. And Max Gunther, quick but inconsistent. I think he's going to struggle today as well. And I think Mitch Evans, we've seen him before. He makes passes in crazy places that you just don't expect, and he's the man outside of Cassidy. He's the man in form. He's got 2 race wins in the last 3 races. But also let me know your podium as well, SHT. Who are you putting on the rostrum in the Principality? There is Jake Hughes on pole position. Well, not quite on pole position yet. So they do their burnouts and they move forward to it. If you're new to this channel, of course, welcome. Subscribe for more Grand Prix content. So I cover Formula E. I've done actually a video about how IndyCar is better than Formula One this year. So once we finish this race, if you haven't had your fill of content from me, go and check that out. You can check out my predictions for this weekend's Miami Grand Prix, which is shaping up to be just as exciting as last week's Azerbaijan Grand Prix. So make of that what you will. We are minutes away from a race in Monaco, though. Like the stream, it helps get it out to more people. People will see it then, and the channel can grow, and we can have lots of conversation going.
for 94 years.
The dulcet tones of Jack Nicholls are back with us.
This is the 9th round of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship, the Monaco E-Prix. I'm Jack Nicholls.
Let's see if we've got some live timing in the old race centre.
This circuit needs no introduction, but give us
Not
one
yet.
Yeah, absolutely, Jack. 3.3 kilometres. If you're racing,
Dario Frankitti's back on the commentary. I don't know where he's been this year. Does anyone know why he wasn't there? Or is it just because he lives in Monaco that they've been like, oh yeah, just come and join us for the commentary? So, yeah, we've got another vote for Fenestraz in the poll.
Absolutely, around the harbours here in Monaco on the shores of the
And here's the grid. The two DS Penske's on the back row. Jean-Eric Verne, third in the championship, last on the grid. Then you've got former champions De Grassi and Da Costa on the penultimate row. Behind the two apt Cupras, who have seemingly improved. Bird and Buemi. Rast and Roland. Verline and Dennis. They need to pull out something this afternoon. And they've got Andre Lotto ahead of them and Nick Cassidy. Sete Camera had his dual lap time deleted for not exiting the pit lane at the right time. Evans is the one to watch from here. Gunther and Nato's P3, my mistake there. There's the front row. Sasha Fenestraz, the French-Argentine, the Frargentine, and Jake Hughes from Birmingham. Fenestraz, Evans, Tickton. Oh, that's a bit bold. I have a feeling Hughes could get screwed over in the later part of the race. Yeah, that's an absolutely fair shout. You know, it's not Formula E without some sort of chaos. So we wait for the burnouts. We now have some live timing, so I can change scene once again. The fancy transition is coming up right now. I must say, a bit of a brag. I'm very pleased with how that has turned out.
Watch how hard people are fighting to stay in somewhere round about 5th place. And then, when do you go? When do you attack for the win of this 29-lap race? Those are going to be two key things today. And contact is going to be involved because drivers will be getting their elbows out to defend and attack.
Maserati lining up 4th on the grid. Maserati MSG at their home race. Max Gunther in the blue car. Watch for him because you go back to December and he was the quickest driver in pre-season.
Timing is set for you guys. The grid is ready. Good shot of all the team bosses there.
The team principals are ready. The drivers are ready. The streets of Monaco are ready for round 9 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship.
Of course, remember the timing on the right. Well, we've got 5 lights already. We completely missed it. And we go. And there's a pigeon flying away as they all run down to turn 1. Jake Hughes holds the lead. And they file through all safely. There's Tickton looking to go side by side with Gunther. That would be brave around the outside of Massenet as they get to the top of the hill. Has Tickton made it around the outside? I think he has. Another beautiful start from Dan Tickton. Everyone neatly and tidily through. Jake Dennis has made 3 positions from P12 on the grid to P11 on the grid, 2 positions. He's up to 9th. Where's Verline? He's gone down to 13th.
And everybody tries to fight to stay there, stay in the slipstream. They've got to stay so close to the car in front to get the maximum effect of that slipstream. Worth about 0.1%.
It's a weird scene on race start with the pigeon showing in the sea. Yeah, it was just there on the side of the track and I could see it flying away, that's all. But yeah, you don't often see like wildlife on the start line, do you? Nick Cassidy up to P7. And Jake Dennis is now up to P8. Mortara dropping down the order. De Grassi dropping behind the 2 Penske cars.
In their fight over 17th place is the extra the swimming pool past the packed grandstands. And And now we come up into La Rascasse, the restaurant bar thing.
And they're all fanning out to find some space into the Rascasse. Mortara getting shuffled back. I think Mortara's got a problem because he is dropping like a stone. Keep an eye on his progress.
We've seen some side-by-side battles already, but no damage so far, which I'm a little shocked by.
Yeah, very clean opening lap.
Dario Franchitti shocked by the lack of damage, but just you wait, my friend.
But Cassidy took 2 places off the line, which was a pretty strong getaway for Cassidy, and he's now only a couple of places behind Mitch
The
Evans.
timing stand has Dennis ahead of Cassidy as Tictum having a look down the inside of Nato, who firmly covers that off. Oh, Cassidy's getting swallowed up, and that's Oliver Rowland down the inside with a double overtake. Dennis has just lost 2 places, so has Cassidy. Oh, we're wheel to wheel with the Neo on board with Jake Dennis. That was Sete Camera, he had to bully his way back past. It's all kicking off.
What you don't want to do is fight so hard for position that you allow the guys ahead of you to get
Oh,
away.
Evans side by side with Rowland. Rowland's on an absolute charge. He's cut the corner and he'll have to give that back. Hughes serenely at the front of the race. Verline back down to 14th. It is all going off. Rowland's gained 3 to 4 places. Yeah, he's absolutely moving. There he goes around the outside of Evans.
Oliver Rowland made up 13 positions.
He started 13th on the grid because
Oliver Rowland has gone from 13th to 6th in 2 laps. That is incredible.
Carved his way up the order, there's no doubt about that. Up into 6th position, Oliver Rowland, and off his Lotterer.
That's Lotterer off there.
Qualifying session, but he's got damage to the front wing, and he
Degrassi now at the back. Yeah, that was inevitable for him. Got the yellow flag out for Lotterer. There's someone going through the attack mode zone. Was there, or did they just run wide? Is it Rowland? Rowland has taken attack mode. It's just not showing up on the TV screen. You can see it on the timing though, which still actually says Berlin E-Prix live timing. I will adjust that now.
And I'm looking forward to seeing the attack.
Monaco. There we go. That looks better. Is that a double space?
Just wants to get to the front. I think a shout out to Nissan here. Top 3 all Nissan powertrains. That's,
yes.
They've had a hard start to the season.
Technical difficulties live on the stream, everybody.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Yeah, former champion Lucas Degrassi is struggling.
I'm just saying, sorry if I ask a lot, but can I trust on Norman? We're working as a team, right?
There is Evans on the outside of
Evans trying to get to the outside
Max
of
Gunther.
That's a dangerous place to put yourself, and he manages to keep it together.
Keep it clean.
I didn't mean the outside of Gunther specifically, but I just meant the outside of that corner, but also the outside of Gunther kind of counts. Interesting chat on the radio then from Fenestraz saying, look,
so we've got the results of the poll. Sasha Fenestraz, the favourite from you guys, the audience, to win this race.
If they play nicely together, they've obviously had a discussion beforehand, and if Nato does something that they haven't discussed, then Fenestraz will know for future reference that he can't trust his teammate. But if they play nicely together, that really helps build that relationship and help them work closely. They get on very well outside of the car, but that doesn't necessarily translate to on the circuit.
Yeah, I hosted their launch back in December, and the two of them were sort of a nightmare, really, because they just mess around the whole time, and even Tommaso Volpe was getting involved in the messing around. So it was good fun. But they do get along well. Big hug between them when Fenestraz took pole position that was then taken away from him. But there was a big embrace between the two of them.
Yeah, Lotterer's out of the race. We haven't seen what happened to him. I do think he was missing a front wing, so I'm guessing he might have clipped a barrier somewhere. Van Dorn is making some progress. He's up to 17th now, behind Sam Bird, who's gone absolutely nowhere.
Of the championship, but still
On
a long
board
way to go.
with
On board
Sete Camera there.
in the bottom right.
And the body language of Tictum's Neo 3-3.
In fact, it's Tictum, sorry.
He is looking for any gap he can find to pass Norman Nato. Norman Nato's been
Buemi's just tumbled down to 16th.
So Hughes is saying, look, I'm doing the best that I can out front with the energy reduction or with the energy management and trying to be as efficient as possible. But it's Formula E is turning into one of the Tour de France stages around this region rather than a regular motor race on the streets.
Yeah, very much like Mark Cavendish.
Still the leaders don't take attack mode. Anyone taking it this time around? Looks like someone further down the order did.
It will come certainly after we post the energy figures of all the cars, so teams can see what their opposition.
And there's Cassidy. Whoa, whoa, triple overtake from Nick Cassidy, launching it down the outside of the hairpin. Terrific stuff. He's got himself ahead of Mitch Evans now.
At least 2 positions there.
Wow.
Remarkable stuff.
He just dropped behind Dennis, I think, and then he just launched a counter-attack.
Cassidy now up into 6th place. 7th is Evans. Tictum is looking really, really lurky behind the back of Norman Nato.
Tictum looking lurky. That's a word I've never heard before.
To send it, and I think Nato is as well.
Verline now up into the points, into 10th place. There's a lot of chopping and changing from like 5th or 6th backwards. As Nato has a look to the inside of his teammate.
Yeah, he just fades across in every braking zone. See how close all the other cars are getting. Look, again.
And you can really see like why Formula E cars can overtake as they go into Rascat. There's so much more space when they approach that corner compared to like a Formula One car. Nick is now here.
DaCosta has as well, but he's in 13th position at the end of that lap. So lap 6 of 29. Have a look to the outside here. The green car was side by side
Cassidy.
with Dennis, and then he just went by Jay.
Look at that.
And almost had a little bit of Mortara as well. Remarkable stuff.
And that's so steeply downhill, Jackie.
Oh, that's Raston. Whoa, that's how Lotterer ended up out of the race.
Side by side with Rene Rast coming into the final corner at Anthony Nogues. He hasn't got far to go.
That was not smart from either of them, really. Cassidy having a look at the outside of Tictum.
Okay, we can see some movement behind, so let's just keep our noses clean, keep doing
Oh, bang of the McLaren there with Buemi and Rast.
He's already had a collision with Lotterer, and now he's going wheel to wheel with Buemi, but that was the message to Jake Hughes.
Someone's red light is dangling off the back. I'm not sure whose it was.
Thinking about it again, but not quite able to.
Oh, we've got a collision. That's Roland.
Damage.
He's got a damaged front wing. I think he'll still be able to continue.
29 in the Monaco E-Prix. Hughes is leading still. Fenestraz, Nato, Tictum, Cassidy.
They were almost coming to a stop at the Nouvelle chicane out of the tunnel, and eventually someone missed their braking point. Cassidy on the outside of Tictum now. Cassidy putting the moves on. Which was the computer kind of crash. So let me just figure this all out as Fenestraz now takes attack mode. And he's come out ahead of Jake Hughes. So that is bad news for the Brits. They're having a look around the outside. Cassidy's now leading. And Evans goes around the outside of Jake Hughes. He's going to lose potentially another position to Dennis. Cassidy strikes and now into third. Yeah, I missed that. Thanks to my PC exploding. Not literally, but you know.
Just look how quickly Constantina's up in any of the braking zones, or as soon as somebody lifts off to save some energy.
So let's get the correct.
There's suddenly a lunge from Jake Dennis, and Hughes just about left him enough room. Cassidy leading that.
There's a yellow flag I can see on the timing.
Verline's not having a good day in 8th place in the Porsche, but everybody else looking pretty strong. And there goes Dennis. He's got Hughes.
Dennis has got past Jake Hughes. Roland's out of the race. A fairy tale start to a disaster ending. Yeah.
He's looking pretty good. You watch the numbers go back up now as the drivers regenerate the energy back into the battery. 40% of the energy used in the race will be regenerated. The car doesn't start the race with anywhere near the energy to finish it.
I suppose there's still a long way to go. I don't know how long Jake Hughes took as the lead pair now take attack mode. Is Hughes going to lose out to them as well? Let's see. I'm not actually seeing it. Cassidy does. That's Rene Rast. And the TV director doesn't want to show us the drivers.
We don't need to keep saving, we just follow the cars ahead.
Cassidy down to 5th. So that's doubly bad news for Jake Hughes because he's now lost 2 positions. And the guy who started the race in P9 is now ahead of him on the track. Cassidy's in 3 minutes of attack mode. That's interesting. Yeah, Cassidy's on one. He's on another level, as you say, SHT. He's really got the bit between his teeth. He sees that championship lead there for him to take. He said, I saw a headline that he said that his game plan for the season is coming together. And yeah, he's putting in the performances, and Sebastian Buemi's going to have to play second fiddle.
It's one thing to be efficient with energy, another
Yeah, you called it, Jake Hughes getting screwed over.
is really difficult.
And that's what happened. There's still a long way to go. Still 19 laps remaining. Jake Dennis has now got past Sasha Fenestraz, and Cassidy's about to do exactly the same. Or are they going to come together? Ticton takes attack mode, so does Dennis. Evans goes into the lead. And Ticton is now ahead of Hughes. So all of that time spent in the lead, and now he's been shuffled back in the pack as the McLaren driver. And you've just got this enormous crocodile of cars going around the streets of Monaco. Formula One could never.
To sort of no man's land in 8th to 10th, and it's kind of like the Wild West. So you need to keep close enough to the seat of the leader that you can, when it's time to go, you don't have too much work to do.
That 10 of 29 through the Raskas, the final corner. Anthony knows.
The Maseratis have dropped to 8th and 9th. Their qualifying pace is not matching their race pace. Cassidy goes past Dan Ticton for 3rd place.
Cassidy going through into 3rd place. Follow Evans, but I would suggest Evans is about to go through attack mode around this next left-hander at Massenet. So maybe they meant follow Evans, i.e. do whatever he does.
Yeah,
so,
because otherwise when Evans took attack mode, he would have then been the leader of the race, which he doesn't want to be at this point.
Cassidy is now the leader of the Monaco E-Prix in the green Envision. The black and white Jaguar is behind. And there goes Max Goodman.
Everyone at the hairpin. Love it. Cassidy now takes the lead.
Not much progress for the DS. Well, DS Penske started at the back, but dear Jean-Eric Byrne is only in 14th place at the moment, and Stoffel Van Dorn, both of them race winners here in the past, so a shame for them.
No further action between Rest and Lottery. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was really anyone at blame for that, because you shouldn't really go side by side through Anthony Knows. So, yeah, both are lucky. Well, Lottery ended up in the wall, and Rast is tumbling down the order, so both their races have ended up being wrecked. Just one of those things, really. Cassidy 9th to the lead, exactly what Mitch Evans did in Berlin in the first race there. The Jaguar driver sits 2nd in this race, with Jake Dennis right behind him, and Sasha Fenestraz watching on in 4th. Hughes seems to have dropped back. Here's Dennis still in attack mode, having a look at the Jaguar.
A little tactical move there from Mitch Evans ahead of him. Just making sure as he goes for attack mode.
Dennis for attack mode.
As you exit that barrier is facing you. I love that shot of them catching oversteer out of the exit.
And he's actually come out ahead of Hughes.
It's the classic one, isn't it?
And down the outside, that is just Da Costa, who's ahead of Verline now.
Cassidy leading, Evans second, Fenestras third, Dennis fourth, Hughes is in.
It's just constantly changing the order. You look away for 30 seconds. Yeah, look, Nato now down in 9th place, having run third early on. Look at the gap between Fenestras and Hughes.
Then you see Mortara with hasn't used attack mode once yet.
Through the chicane, out towards Laras Cassidy's radio.
Okay, we cover Jake.
So that's Cassidy saying, we'll cover Jake. I think that's what he said. So he's thinking about the championship. Cassidy's like, whatever, I just want to be ahead of Jake Dennis when I come out of my attack mode. And currently the gap is 2.
Tictum now looking he's looking very lurky again.
Cassidy said, oh, it's a long season.
Behind Jake Hughes.
Not thinking about the championship, but here he is taking attack mode right now.
Cassidy into attack mode. Does he concede the lead?
Getting overtaken by Jake Dennis. Did he manage to keep ahead of Dennis? Well, we'll wait and see.
The TV direction is not doing a very good job of showing us the important things. It looks like Cassidy is ahead of Dennis. He's even ahead of Fenestras.
Jake Dennis in fourth.
We're talking about strategy the whole time. What we haven't mentioned is these drivers are driving round here with pinpoint precision, skimming the barrier, trying to find every 10th of a second they possibly can. We talk about all the time the tactics, the energy saving and stuff. Just look at the job they're doing driving the cars.
This is Gunther down the outside of Tictum. And he gets the job done.
Place now, Max Gunther, after finishing on the podium last time out. Lap 13 of 29.
There's a big gap after that. Hughes is holding the pack. He's in P5.
So Hughes is holding the pack up in 5th place. That's the message from
there's
Max
nearly a
Gunther.
2-second gap to the leader from Jake Hughes.
From Hughes to the car
And
ahead.
the gaps between the leading four are about half a second, plus or minus a little bit.
When we saw it last time, so I'm surprised that
Evans is leading, and that's Dennis going past Fenestras.
up the inside, coming into turn 1.
Going full send. Cassidy's got the least amount of energy at the front.
In the race, Evans, Cassidy, Dennis are in 5th, 2nd and 4th.
Evans now goes for attack mode. Is he going to come out at the back of that train? Hughes also. Evans is third by the look of it. Are they going to get round there? Yes, and Evans holds third position and 3 minutes of attack mode. Oh, there's a little bit more debris knocked off.
Dennis being told you got more energy than Nick Cassidy ahead of you, but here comes Mitch Evans, who's got more power at the moment than Dennis.
There goes Mitch Evans into P2.
Up into second. Dennis is keeping his nose in.
Oh, they're so close.
Oh, it's tight. Evans is through.
Incredible. I mean,
But Dennis had to concede in the end. Mortara's got ahead of Tictum. Yeah, Tictum's starting to fall back, and that was inevitable because the Neo just lacks the efficiency.
Mitch Evans is going to use more energy to do it, but absolutely both of them threading the needle.
Mitch Evans has been on the podium in Monaco the last 2 races, a second and a third. Never the win.
Good job, good job. We stay there for now. We stay there. We defend Dennis.
So, across the line they come. Down towards the first corner. Cassidy leading. Second is Evans. 4/10 of a second. I don't need to give you the gaps, do I? You can see the gaps. It's nothing as they climb the hill up by Ravage, and Evans is fancying it here. He's still in.
Evans looking, he's lurking in the place where he took Da Costa last year, or the year before even.
Than 50% energy remaining. Gunther
That pack is just all closed up now. The Maseratis have moved themselves into 5th and 6th.
And this is going to be tight. A really, really entertaining end of this
Hughes having a look around the outside, but he might. It's eat or be eaten at the hairpin.
Nato further back. Verline's not looking good energy-wise. Like, he's all right, he's fine, but he's going to struggle a little bit, I think, over the remainder of the race to make too much progress.
Should I overtake or not? No, we stay where we are and we defend. We stay where we are.
This is weird, isn't it? The guy in 2nd place asking if he should overtake the guy in the lead. Replay for Sam Bird. What's happened here? Was it contact with... Oh yes, the debris just bouncing off of his car.
Spat out up into the air. So Cassidy leading. Whoa, big moment there from Gunter.
Gunter was sideways there. Somehow he managed to keep it all together and not cream into the back of Fenestraz. And they're all parking at the Raskas. This is just nuts. Da Costa's just grabbed a couple of positions. Mitch Evans taking the lead.
Evans takes the lead. Mitch Evans takes the lead of the Monaco E-Prix. Now, 2 years ago, Evans took the lead of the race and lived to regret it because he didn't have enough energy to finish the race, and Da Costa overtook him. Now he's out for revenge, but you got to play the smart game, and sometimes championship points are better than revenge. What happened here with Verline on the replay? Well, that's on his teammate.
Oh, Verline with a bit of contact there, crunching into the back of someone ahead of him. Hughes now down to 9th. Not on my screen, not yet. Oh yeah, there it goes. Well, my prediction curse strikes again. Whoever I seem to predict for a win or something good. Oh, Bird and well, they're all missing the chicane. Look at that. Oh, look! Oh, wow! There's someone going slowly. It's Da Costa. That was completely the wrong angle to have. Oh, damage for Bird.
I don't know why Da Costa suddenly slowed on the exit of Tabac. That was a strange one.
Da Costa tumbling down the order. There he goes. Is he going in the pit lane?
Here comes Dennis on Cassidy, not close enough.
Yeah, there he goes into the pit lane. He must have hit the wall with one of the tyres.
Puncture, right rear.
Yeah, right rear puncture. And Hughes is back up to P8 now.
He's out of the running, let's say. Right, on board with Dennis in the
attack mode for the Maseratis. There they go.
Both
absolutely together.
Maserati's first race in Monaco since the 1957 Grand Prix, which was won by Juan Manuel Fangio in a 250F. Now they're back on a single-seater race on the streets of the Principality, and it's also a home race for MSG, the Monaco Sports Group. That's the team that kind of run the Maserati operation. 12
laps to go after the one that they are on.
We're on board with the shot that always feels like I think we're on a 250F with this onboard. It's a really kind of retro.
This is Gunther sizing up Jake Hughes.
The shape of the body
to no avail.
The suspension moving up and down. I'm just looking at the leaders: Evans, Cassidy, Dennis. Not three drivers to panic or get caught out with things. So it's going to be. You're going to have to get your elbows out if you want to win this race with the characters at the front of the field right now.
On board with Max Gunter, driver's eye, camera inside the helmet as he tries to attack Jake Hughes ahead of him. Mitch Evans taking the lead.
Seems to have calmed down for a moment.
Last season, Van Dorn took the lead on lap 17 and led to the finish.
12 laps to go. Cassidy has taken the lead. I said it was quite down.
Let's see if they go through Beaurivage unscathed. Oh, they do just about. Very, very tight stuff. But Cassidy, meanwhile, has taken the lead. Apologies, guys. So busy looking at the fight at the back. Cassidy's now back ahead of Evans. The two Kiwis running first and second.
And Dennis going down the outside of Evans. He'll have the inside line for the Lowe's hairpin. Evans just counter-attacks towards Cassidy. Attack is the best form of defence in this race.
And they remain in the same order. Cassidy, Dennis, Evans. I love it.
This is fantastic.
I love Jack Nicholls' commentary. Absolutely brilliant.
Through the tunnel. Hughes under big pressure from Mortara now, because Gunter's got ahead of him, as we saw. And now Mortara is trying to get through as well. No, Hughes has got back past, actually. I apologise. Hughes back ahead of Gunter and up into 6th spot. But it's Cassidy leading. Evans in 2nd. Here's a look at how...
This is really important for the championship standings. I think Cassidy would take the lead. Evans would lose a little bit to Cassidy, but gain on Verline, and so would Dennis. There's Jake Hughes around the outside of Tickton. They're going to have to go through. Anthony knows together. He gives the Neo 333 the space. Even if I can do that without biting my tongue. Yeah, now you're having to defend from Gunther, who's still in attack mode. And we're on board, driver's eye, with Gunther as he has a look at the McLaren.
Up into the left-hander at Massenet. Down through Mirabeau. Little cover to the inside. Because right behind him, well, in fact, it's side by side behind.
Oh, there's Fenestraz up the inside of Dennis. Are they going to... No, they're not. No contact.
Fenestraz is trying to get Dennis. Oh, that sounded like a crunch and a half.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
There sounded some contact there.
Leading, Evans 2nd. We'll keep an eye on the tower on the left-hand side. See who drops down the order.
Might be...
Could have been Van Dorn. He's just dropped a couple of places. But the lead at the front is very much on Verline. The championship leader is still outside of the points at the
Verline's 11th. Vern is ahead of Verline. Vern started last.
Into the back.
Verline's championship assault is coming undone now, because he's just not able to get himself into positions in qualifying.
Of 29. Dennis saying on the radio, "I'm not stupid, I know what's happening." So I don't know whether that's... I presume the engineer has told him something and he's being like, "Yeah, I can see that.
I'm a little busy right now."
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
Dennis having a look. They're in the pit lane exit, defending and attacking.
Van Dorn's down to 17th, so I think it was him that got a bit crunchy down into the hotel hairpin.
Just watch the pace picking up, Jack. Lap after lap, they're just going quicker. They're staying on the throttle longer. They're lifting less. Each lap is getting progressively quicker. As you see,
Evans deciding it's now time to make an attack on Cassidy.
Envision at the front of the field.
They're all thinking about it.
Oh, and here's that was contact with Picton, who moved out at the last minute to try and have a look around the outside of Fenestraz. What damage has been done there?
Lap 20 of 29.
I think Hughes has got some damage.
So hard in 6th position, but he's got both Maserati MSGs looking racy behind. Difficult start to the year for Maserati, but now they are very much back on form and fighting.
Yeah, the McLaren's missing part of the front wing, I think, at the end plate.
The two out front with Dennis there in 3rd.
Tickton will be fortunate to escape that without a puncture. Evans hunting the New Zealander ahead of him.
So just a little bit, but he's on 35% energy remaining. Cassidy on 34%. Dennis has the most of the top 3. But
Dennis in a great position with the most energy there. Just looking down the order, who could be in trouble. Verline only 32%.
You can't use it. You've got to spend it at some point, and knowing when to spend it, which has not been my problem in life, just spend it all the time. Anyway, let's not get bogged down in that.
Let's go. Let's get him.
Let's go. That's a green light, Jack.
Evans being told, let's go.
Black and white Jaguar.
Music to a racing driver's ears.
His driver, let's get Cassidy for the lead. But Cassidy will know that.
Here he comes. Oh, Cassidy has it covered.
In India, Jean-Eric Byrne was leading the race. Cassidy was 2nd. And Cassidy learned so much, he told me, in that race, and how...
Oh, there's just cars everywhere at the hairpin again. And a front wing on the ground.
See one of the Maserati wings
That looked like a Maserati wing to me.
Cassidy's going to be putting all this experience to good
I think
use.
it's Mortara's. Yeah, he's dropping down the order.
Sorry, it was Edo's. It was Edo's front wing.
Dennis has made 11 overtakes in this race,
He's had a bit of contact
as
with
Evans
the front back man.
closes again for the lead.
Cassidy leading, Evans second, Dennis third. Those three title contenders. Pascal Wehrlein's leading the championship and is down in 11th place. Right, let's ride with Jake Dennis running in third position. Evans ahead, Cassidy ahead of him. And how urgent is Dennis feeling?
Cassidy taking some interesting lines there, defending his position. I think he's expecting Evans to make the move, and there he goes into Raskas looking around the outside. Just like Mansell and Senna, no way through. Oh, he's clipped the wall!
Evans hit the wall. Wow. The inside of the wall.
And will that put him under pressure from Dennis? Not into Sandoval. And a big lock up there for Tictum. He's got front wing damage, I think. Yeah. And we've... That's Nato, who's going to grind to a halt. And Tictum is smoking away because the front wing is dragging on the tyre. Gunther is tumbling down the order as well. Hughes back up to 5th. Mortara's taken attack mode.
Quicker and quicker and slaving less energy. It means for Mitch Evans to pass, he's going to have to do a serious lunge. Because
Sam Bird's up into 8th now, having been nowhere in this race.
it's going to be a proper lunge.
Vern up to 7th, yeah. He's just keeping his car in one piece and everybody else isn't. At least in the mid-pack. Here comes Evans having a look. Tictum. What's going on? Oh, crunch. That would be the back of Fenestraz that he's hit. Oh, and there's Gunther. Double wave yellows.
Here comes Evans.
Safety car.
Safety car is not. Yeah, he was thinking
It's not coming up on the timing on the TV, which is really frustrating.
Whoa, lap 22 of 29. Not long to go. But we are in
Got a safety car.
I don't even think I even know the word. Final few laps here in Monaco.
Everybody's aware we've got car 7 on driver's left at turn 3.
Safety car deployed. So we think Gunther went into the back of Tictum.
Sorry, check that. Driver's right. Driver's right.
The Porsche Taycan Turbo S safety car.
Okay, well that gives us an opportunity to all catch our breath. And we're going to have a shootout of maybe 5 to 7 laps. Oh!
Whoa! Contact up Beau Rivage. So Gunther is trying to pass.
That was Gunther trying to pass Tictum, yeah, and then... Oh, dearie me.
Yeah, I'd like to see that
Let's
earlier.
pop the wheel, look, straight away. Here we go, driver's eye.
Brace yourselves.
Oh.
Wow. Dario, you're the driver. That run curves.
Oh, thanks, Jack.
No, you were the driver a long time ago. But it is a curve run up Beau Rivage, so I guess you don't really know where the driver's going to go.
Well, it looks like Tictum went over to block, which is fair enough and not unusual in this race, but then...
And you can see the damage on Tictum's car. It's actually fallen off somewhere, so he's no longer smoking that tyre away. I'm impressed that he hasn't damaged that right front. Nato is in the pits.
A day that promised so much for Norman Nato, Max Gunther in there.
Gunther has been his result once again. Yeah, this is the thing with Max Gunther. He is quick, and he does have these really good days, but he doesn't convert them. He doesn't finish them off. He always gets himself wrapped up in an incident. Oh, Tictum, so fortunate that that wing didn't go under the car or give him a puncture. Look, it's smoking away already. Look at the rubbing away. Nato re-entering the race.
23 of 29 in the Monaco E-Prix.
Muller in 11th as well, yeah. And all of that chaos has put Wehrlein into the points, but only in P9. He needs to be 4th, really.
They are. Here's Cassidy's radio. So when the safety car comes in, push as much as you can. That's the message from Ramiro Garcia, who's Nick Cassidy's new race engineer this weekend, replacing Robert Sattler.
Got a replay here. Oh, that's Mortara losing his front wing. There's contact between the two Maseratis. And then you've got an apt Cupra without a front wing as well. What's the point of the front wing if they're just going to drive around without them? Surely they should be into the pits to fix it. Crazy.
Yeah, there's so many moving pieces in these races. People cutting to the inside, drivers trying to take momentum around the outside. You saw just one teammate bobbed, the other one weaved, and there's the result.
Some long faces in the Maserati garage. One car in the wall, one car in 13th and wingless.
It's almost they just keep putting themselves, as in the drivers, in the wrong position. And it's easy to say sitting here in the commentary booth, absolutely easy to say. But you're right, Jack, the pace is definitely there. But that radio message to Cassidy, when the safety car clears, go as hard as you can. This is going to be a battle to the finish between Cassidy, Evans, Dennis, and, you know, Fenestraz in fourth. Can he get up there?
Gunter's car about to be hoisted clear. The marshals in Monaco famously rapid with the cranes all around the circuit. And up it goes. Here's Cass's radio.
Yeah, disaster for Maserati. Berlin to Monaco.
So there's the energy at the moment.
Safety car will be in this lap.
Radio. Oh, okay. The race engineer saying, "Relax, have a cigar and chill out." Is the message to Cassidy apparently. So it seems like Ramiro Garcia's got a bit of bounce.
Oh, do they come together in one of the races at Berlin as well? Wow.
This was Dennis trying to attack for second place. And he couldn't quite pull it off. He's man on the move at the moment, Dennis.
If you're Mitch Evans, you turn in blind. You got to trust the car on the inside, as you see Evans to the outside.
Going to get some replays of some of the crazy action that we've seen so far. That's one benefit of the safety car.
There he goes.
This is the view on board with Cassidy. Safety car in this lap. We're about to get racing underway. So the top three are in reverse energy order. Looking at that, Cassidy the least, Evans a bit more, Dennis a bit more than that.
So the green flag is waving on the timing. It's not quite ready yet. There's Scott Elkins, the race director.
Says that we are good to go racing again. Cassidy leading. Evans second.
Evans has dropped back a wee bit. But Cassidy has the least amount of energy of the top three. And here we go then. We are racing again in Monaco. And Fenestraz has been sort of left behind there a little bit.
25 of 29. 5 laps to go in the Monaco E-Prix. Nick Cassidy is leading it in the Envision. Evans is second, Dennis in third. We may get added laps. Sasha Fenestraz is there in fourth place, which would be his best cornery result, but Jake Hughes is right behind him and looking racy in the orange neon McLaren.
Look at Evans immediately on the case to try and take the lead, and Dennis is just sitting there waiting for it to all end in tears. It's a great camera shot. Look at that. And you've got the onboard as well, the picture-in-picture, that's what it's called. Verline, I think, has taken attack mode. That's why he's dropping down the order.
James Barkley, the team principal, on the right-hand side.
What a little wag of the tail for the two leaders.
Evans tries to finally get the victory. Up into the Nouvelle chicane. It's been a very, very strong race as well for Jean-Eric Verne here in the DS Penske. The black and
There's the apt Cupra of Muller without a front wing.
Another quiet race for Verne, just getting it done.
And there's Van Dorn in the other car. He's not going to make the points by the looks of things. Verline, meanwhile, is still 12th. He's not scoring any points at the moment, Pascal Verline in the Porsche. He's just not scoring. He stayed exactly where he started. That's what happened in Berlin last time.
Keep an eye out for any added laps on the race control section of the timing. Fastest lap for Cassidy.
In the Monaco E-Prix.
32.4.
Muller is running in 10th place, looking to score another point. He's having a solid run. Oh,
There's Verline. His front wing a little bit damaged, and he's side by side with Van Dorn. We've cut away from it. What is it with Monaco and cutting away from action?
I think they got away with it, those two.
As Bird takes attack mode, is he going to come out ahead of Muller? He is.
Might have missed it, I think, Sam Bird.
Van Dorn stays ahead of Verline.
I think he did, Jack. I think he missed it.
Verline is desperate to make a move here.
Bird hasn't got attack mode. He missed it.
And Muller's missing his whole front wing. And he's, it looks like a bit of understeer because of that.
It's Bird being told that he missed it. Right, fight at the front. If it finishes like this, Nick Cassidy will lead the Formula E World Championship as we move into the second half of the season. But Evans, well, even if Evans gets ahead of him, even if Dennis gets ahead of him, Cassidy will still lead the championship, but Howie would love to take a second win in a row.
Yes, Lance Stroll replay vibes from the TV director, yeah.
A circuit he'd never raced on.
It's two cars side by side up towards Massenet. Yeah, let's just look at something else. Evans with a flick of the rear. No added laps.
You're up on Cass. There's no added laps. No added laps. So that safety car was not enough to add, or not long enough to add any laps to this race.
So Evans has got 2 laps after this to get this done. And Dennis has actually got more energy than the pair ahead of him.
It's flat out, Jack. It's just nothing. No energy.
So they can just absolutely go for it. Which is great. I think this is how Formula E should be. Bird finally taken attack mode. He has. He's fallen behind Muller.
Monaco E-Prix, Nick Cassidy's leading it, but Evans is right behind him. Evans has finished on the podium the last 2
If Cassidy wins this from Evans, obviously these two will have then won the last 4 races between them.
To take the victory in Monaco, I think if we were at any other race on the calendar, wouldn't mean quite so much, unless it was an Auckland E-Prix. But here in Monaco, it's a different story. Cassidy, Evans, Dennis, all dropping Sacha Fenestraz a little bit, and to be honest, Cassidy is dropping Evans a little bit.
But Cassidy is so quick out of Portier through the tunnel, which is the main overtaking.
We've got a
opportunity,
yellow
so he's
flag.
really using that to his advantage.
Looks like Muller's dropping down the order on the timing screen. He's cut the chicane.
Through Casino Square.
We've got a yellow at turn 1.
2 to go. Jake Dennis is still
Muller's
there,
off, yeah.
third spot. Let's go chasing with Mitch Evans. Last lap, they all did their own personal best lap for the race. Jake Dennis did the fastest lap of the race, and so they are absolutely pushing through the right-hander, down into Mirabeau.
This is the point of the lap where Mitch
Oh, yeah, there he goes. That's that would be a full, yeah, that's a safety car. And that will give Nick Cassidy the race victory.
Turn 1, obey the flags, obey the flags. Car stopped. Drivers left, exit of turn 1.
Okay, well, we'll see how far up the hill it is. We've only got one more lap to go at the end of this one. Cassidy leading, Evans second, Dennis third. Safety car deployed. We're going to finish behind the safety car here. That is going to clinch it for Nick Cassidy.
So Nick Cassidy will win
Safety car out right
the
at the
Monaco
end of the race.
E-Prix. Yeah, Van Dorn up to Vern and Van Dorn from last and second last on the grid are 7th and 9th. Bird hangs on to P10. Verline out of the points. Jake Hughes finishing 5th behind Fenestraz. Cassidy, Evans and Dennis. What's happened to Muller?
Oh, it's with Bird.
It's with Bird. Oh.
Tough one that, Dario.
Yeah, it looked like Sam was down the inside, but you see it hit the curb, and that caused him to jump into Muller.
Follow the safety car. Follow the safety car.
He was trying to get away from Muller in the Ab Cupra.
Then he had a bit of contact coming up the hill. Still managed to stay ahead of Pascal Wehrlein. There's
I hate to say it, Jack, that was a racing incident.
Yeah. No, you shouldn't hate to say it. Racing incidents.
Buemi also from the back to 8th, yeah.
It's not always someone's
It's been a day for experience in keeping your car in one piece.
Leon Price there, that's Sylvain Philippi. They don't necessarily want to celebrate yet until the checkered flag comes out, but we are on the final lap. We don't do added laps once the in the final 4 laps of the race. You can't then add laps after that. So a late safety car is always a danger. And it looks as though, here's Cassidy's radio.
If not, I come to the pit lane, no problem. I have a cigar.
Here it is from Birds on board. He's well along. Well, Muller's not really giving him any space. Oh, there's a bit of contact with Van Dorn there.
Cassidy saying, you know, where's my cigar? Because I think he's about to win the Monaco E-Prix.
I think the team will buy him one tonight.
Yeah, yeah. Made up 8 positions. 4 positions gained for Evans. Fenestraz drops a couple. Dennis has made 11 overtakes over the course of this E-Prix. Van Dorn's made 11. Cassidy's made 10. They are climbing up the order.
Where we're going to finish this under safety car. Safety car will come in. All cars stay on track to take the checkered flag.
Through to back. Behind the safety car. A really great drive this from Nick Cassidy.
Tictum and Gunther under investigation for causing a collision. Wow. I mean, it's just a bit of a racing incident if you ask me.
Hasn't quite been able to take the victory.
If you pass me my phone, I can go to the Skyscanner.
The safety car pulls in. Nick Cassidy comes across the line to win in Monaco. Mitch Evans has to miss out again. Cassidy takes the lead of the championship.
Back-to-back wins for the Envision team.
As a reminder from race control, car 3-7, car 9, car 2-7 stays on track, goes to the podium. Car 3-7, car 9, car 2-7 stay on track, go to the podium, please. Thank you.
Nick Cassidy, the race
Well, that was a very subdued finish to the Monaco E-Prix. It was a wild race. Nick Cassidy has won from 9th on the grid.
Jack, you're live on TV. You've just won Monaco.
I can't believe it just now, right? Jack. Oi, 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 oi.
Top of the championship as well. Good afternoon's work.
That is unbelievable. What a race, what a race. Whoa, that wasn't easy. I don't think we were the fastest, but that was... I'm really, really happy with how I managed that. That was mega.
Congratulations. Have a nice
Muller under investigation for causing a collision. Well, I don't think his car should have been on the track in that state. If you've got a broken front wing or it's missing, you need to come in, because what's the point of it being there if you're just going to drive around without it? So maybe Formula E and the FIA need to look at that, and you know, if the wing comes off or is damaged, it must come in and be replaced. All it takes is, we see so many of the cars with damage to their front wings, and I know it's inevitable because they're racing very close together, but the risk is it goes and pops a tyre or something, or it flies into the crowd, you know, and that just doesn't really bear thinking about the consequences. I mean, let's be...
And you're just waiting for them to really kick on. And I think Cassidy, not that he was sort of childish before, but you know what I mean, he's really kind of come into his own.
I mean, to me, Jack, he's a multiple Super Formula champion in Japan, and you don't win that if you're not exceptional. Just how much he's learned from Wemmy, how much he's learned following other people.
Well, that was a very enjoyable Monaco E-Prix. Maserati sad faces. Yes, they looked in a good position, Aries, but Max Gunther, the Gunther curse struck again. He hit the wall. He collided with Tictum, and they collided with each other. Mortara colliding with Gunther and losing his front wing and dropping a load of places. So yeah, they didn't do themselves any favours in that respect. But let me know very quickly, SHT, Aries, anybody else in the chat, what you thought of that race and what would you rate it out of 10. I'm going to give it a 8 out of 10 because it was the controlled sort of chaos of a Formula E race, wasn't it? But it was still really interesting, and it's such a shame that we had to finish under safety car because I think Evans and Cassidy pushing on that final lap would have been absolutely thrilling to watch. And Evans would have just been trying to make the move at every possible opportunity. Dennis drove a great race to go from 11th to 3rd. Cassidy winning from P9. Verline, no points for the now former championship leader. Nick Cassidy taking the top spot in the championship. The DS Penske boys 7th and 9th from the back of the grid. If only they'd started a bit further up the order, they could have been a threat to the leaders. We did have the Peloton style racing. I think that's here to stay. Maserati and Nissan. Well, Maserati we've just covered. Nissan, a little bit of a positive result with Fenestraz finishing 4th. Jake Hughes falling from pole position to finish 5th. Yeah, it was a very interesting race. We had lots going on, lots of overtakes at the hairpin. Every time we cut to the hairpin, there was cars everywhere. What is going on outside? Someone or something screaming. I don't know if you can hear that. It sounds like one of those squeaky chickens. I don't know if you've seen them on Instagram Reels or on like YouTube Shorts or something. They're the squeaky toys. It sounds like one of those, but really, really big and really loud. Yeah, so it was quite, as I was saying, it was quite an interesting race. A shame we didn't have that final lap shootout between Evans and Dennis, Evans and Cassidy. And those three, the three that finished on the podium, are really making a case now to be the 3 championship contenders. I don't know what the actual standings are. I'm not looking at the what you call it, stream. Let's see. Does it give us the championship standings? Hasn't yet, but I'm sure there's plenty of twists and turns left in this championship yet. So thanks very much for watching, everyone. If you are watching after the fact, or if you're still considering your race rating, let me know what you thought of the race in the comments. Rate it out of 10. I've given it an 8. Let me know what you think. But for now, on this coronation weekend in the UK, I will leave you with that, and thank you for joining me. Remember to like and subscribe for more Grand Prix content. Check out my Miami Grand Prix predictions, and I'll be back on Monday for a live stream to go through the Miami Grand Prix, which hopefully will be saved by a little bit of rain. But for now, I'll see you next time.